Hey ratbags, it's the survival show, triple day today. 3 stories from the survival world this week, focused on the games that you love and know. Let's take a look at today's news with ARK going all Marvel-esque with the reveal of Mjolnir, an actual skin that will summon lightning damage and maybe more. Also taking a look at Planet Crafter, it released this week and it's available now. A nice chilled, relaxing kind of survival vibe, where the emphasis is on terraforming a dusty red brown planet into something gorgeous, green and lush. And what's going on with Icarus? Yes, that survival game that a lot of people seem to have forgotten about is still going strong, weekly updates and a whole bunch of new content. This week they make changes to temperature and add a brand new creature, a scorpion. Is it enough to revive interest in it? So all that and a recap of everything else that went on this week across both my channels, let's go. It's the survival show. So of course, if you don't know, Wildcard are producing one last free map for the base game of ARK 1. Fjordor is going to be coming to Xbox, PlayStation and PC, and usually these modded maps get converted, they have a bunch more content added, and it gets basically spruced up before release for everyone, not just PC players. It is going to be the last one, as far as we know, until the actual new game, ARK 2, comes out, which we are kind of predicting some sort of delay. We won't actually see it released until next year. So they're adding Mjolnir to it as an endgame weapon. It's actually going to be a weapon skin. In the past, weapon skins have been completely cosmetic and haven't actually done anything or changed anything. But now you will be able to equip this onto the tech sword, some of the late game items that you get in ARK, and effectively you'll be able to have shocking damage by the looks of things. Now we're presuming that maybe it'll have a couple of other abilities possibly as well. So the original tech sword does a huge amount of damage anyway, and you previously unlocked it through some of the paid DLCs and one of the free maps. So how's it going to fit in with the Fjordor? Well, it does look like it is going to be a case of, again, completing the bosses on the brand new map and then unlocking the brand new Mjolnir skin to put onto the tech sword. So I'm presuming Mjolnir is going to have something very similar, but just with some fancy little graphics going alongside. Maybe lightning effects when you charge the weapon up. But who knows? Obviously the rune stones inside are clearly big and visible, so maybe they'll offer some more abilities. As I've said, ARK and Fjordor is going to be the last map as far as we know, unless anything changes, before the ARK 2 sequel hits Xbox and PC at some point. According to my mate Raz Clark, the #1 ARK news source, he has said it's one of the best maps he's ever played. Not only does it have a cold overworld similar to something you might explore in Norway or Sweden, with obviously a little bit more mythological flourish, it's also got 3 distinct realms that you'll be able to teleport to, possibly utilising some of the technology from one of ARK's previous paid DLCs. Instead of having a whole map, Genesis 1 had you teleporting between biomes. It looks like it's utilising some of that to explore even further. It's going down already as one of the most hyped and probably the largest maps ARK's ever had. And I will be back on it when it releases. I plan to cover ARK big time in June. Planet Crafter finally launched in full early access. This is a game that's had a bunch of demos over the last year and now everyone gets a chance to buy it. It's cheap as chips, only around 13 quid, going up to £15 after its introductory offer. I did a 2-hour session boiling it down into 13 minutes, give you the lowdown of what you'll be doing. If you like the idea of a more chilled experience but still survival elements, you're going to need food and water, and obviously lots of oxygen, then this has kind of got like the attempts to be something like Satisfactory mixed in with a little bit of Subnautica. There's no danger, there's no enemies. You're literally just surviving on a uninhabited planet, searching wreckages for resources, as well as obviously getting the natural stuff, with the hope of generating enough power, heat and energy to go ahead and turn the planet from something orange and dusty into something green and lush. It's a cool little game. I would say it still needs something else. In my opinion, it's just not fully automated enough, something along the lines of Satisfactory, and doesn't have that danger element to keep things a little bit more interesting. So if they manage to add either of them to make it a bit more along them lines, then I think it'd be a game I could sink a good few hundred hours into. But it's not a bad game at all, just at the moment very pared back. So yeah, give it a check. Watch my video on it and go and check it out on the Steam page. They've been updating regularly all throughout the last year. They added a whole bunch of new biomes to the early access release, as well as brand new technology for you to go in place. If you're someone that gets satisfaction from seeing numbers rise and pop up on screens, then this game could be for you. So Icarus has been having weekly updates. Apparently week 16 in fact. This week's one is called Scorched and Frozen. We're going to be adding a brand new mission, a new predator, temperature system changes, UI improvements and bug fixes. Feels like Icarus kind of fell off the face of the earth, or face of Icarus, with the Steam charts showing it had a massive drop even only a few weeks after its launch. Comparatively to another game that has struggled more in the last couple years, it actually had a sharper fall than even last Oasis did. But the player base numbers have been between 3,500 to 5,000 on a daily basis, and that's not bad. So clearly a lot of people still enjoying the game, and stuff like this I'm sure is going to keep them interested. But is it enough to bring people back into it? They're showing off a scorpion. It's a territorial creature who's going to protect their lair. It's going to have a poisonous barbed tail and sharp pincers that will challenge even the most prepared players. Scorpions are going to drop more unique consumables to craft with, along with new food consumables with their own buffs. This is going on top of a meat system update they had last week. Yay for meat! And then the concealment recovery mission will introduce you to these creative creatures, so be careful of your step. They've also changed the way that some of their arachnids are kind of formed. Looks like they've made them bigger and slightly different. This is the kind of stuff I really wanted Icarus to lean into. Not just boring Earth creatures that we'd seen a billion times before. It's set on an alien planet. Why have you not added some alien-like creatures? Apart from the sandworm and maybe some prehistoric stuff like mammoths, Icarus was pretty boring with its just wolves, bears and deer. But it sounds like they're taking that feedback on board. I'm sure others have been saying it as well, so it does look like they are morphing some of these creatures to look a little bit more exotic. They've also done a rebalance the temperature. Now directly anything you wear will properly affect it, rather than what's necessarily external temperatures hitting you. They made it easier to craft ice water, and they've added heat exhaustion and heat stroke to counter some of the debuffs that you had with the cold versions. Also changes to UI, especially for solo players and new players, and they're talking about changes to drop timers. Effectively, these are to stop players from losing progress if for any reason they can't get on to finish a mission. By looks of things, they're going to be adding some sort of insurance gameplay mechanic. So there we go. It's still probably not enough for me to really try Icarus. I didn't even give it a go when it launched. Played enough of the beta to decide that I just didn't feel like it had enough for me to really get into, and it did launch at a pretty bad time for me with so many other games. I do know the building system is something a lot of players absolutely love, and certainly the survival mechanics are pretty decent, with a big massive pool of points and stuff that you need to unlock. But it did feel just a bit too throwback with certain things and didn't really make sense in terms of its future setting. So yeah, I need something a bit more sexy for me to give Icarus another try. Let me know if you played it, what did you think about the game, and are you going to be facing off against the Scorpions anytime soon? And then a quick roundup of everything else that went on the channel this week. I spoke to the VALHEIM and Grounded devs last night, and I've got part 2 coming tonight. I did a 2-hour little podcast gaming session. We played Grounded together and VALHEIM, and we found out a lot about how to make games. So check out part 1 and part 2, as I said, is coming at 9 PM tonight. We also saw that The Forest has been delayed again. It's not going to be coming out until October now, the Sons of the Forest sequel, which is disappointing news, but it is hopefully meaning we're going to get a better game when it does release. We got another sneak peek at the VALHEIM Mistlands. It does look like there's going to be some sort of creature that has silk and it leaves it everywhere. And we caught up as well with a bunch of games like Sky, Retreat to an End and Derelicts, giving you lowdown on info about when we can expect to see them release. Particularly with Sky, they did announce literally day after this video came out, or the day before, that they are indeed postponing their original Q1 release date, and they're kind of basically hoping for the Unreal Engine 5 to launch properly before they can maybe consider a full release or early access release. Then another gameplay trailer of Forever Skies. A game where you're in your airship struggling to survive, grabbing resources, is meant to be coming out later on this year. They showed off extended gameplay, so you can go and check out my little analysis of that, and it is shaping up to looking something pretty special. I did also stream some of the Sky Climbers Alpha, and it's pretty bare bones. They've had a few updates to make it more stable, but I was less than impressed with the features. Even for an alpha, it definitely felt like it was just way too early. But are they going to improve stuff? We'll check back probably next week. And on the JADE-Craft channel, as I said, we covered Planet Crafter, and we had 2 news videos about Smalllands, brand new gameplay revealed in the last week, showing antenna mode as well as more combat. The Smallland devs are also working on a brand new trailer, and it does look like the next Steam Festival is going to be in June, and they were talking about having a demo last year for this game, so I'm predicting we're going to get that trailer announcing the demo in June that you'll be able to try Smalllands for yourself. And Grounded has got a huge update coming in April. Well, at least a reveal of content coming in April when they're going to be at PAX East. They're going to be showing off changes to combat, armor system, as well as base defense and much more. And of course, I've been loving Core Keeper. I've been putting videos out pretty much every other day. They've hit 500,000 players. It's a great little game. Absolutely go and check it out if you get the chance. And there we go. That's the recap. That's been the survival show. I'm going to be back this week and we're going to be streaming a lot more. Going to be trying to split my stream time between a couple of hours on JCraft in the afternoons in the UK, and then in the evening time around 9 PM, hopefully Tuesday till Saturday upcoming. We're going to be playing Valheim and Ark, and they're the games we're going to be streaming. I will cover the big releases that are upcoming, but like I told you guys, alongside having the survival show, I'm going to be returning to more and more just gameplay or features from just two maybe main games. Especially now with Sons of the Forest delayed, it really does mean it's going to be a summer of Valheim and Ark unless anything else actually comes out like Nightingales, which is my most hyped game of the year. So go and subscribe to my JCraft channel to see more of Grounded, Small Land and Core Keeper. Make sure you're tuned in here for more Valheim, Ark and survival news. Laters, rat bags.